Just working on a link on the top of a Lovespoon.
Alright everybody, it's been on the bench for a little while, so it's just the finishing off bit.
So you thought you'd have start off then demonstrating for anybody's interested in doing a link.
Okay, you can see we got the link part cut out, but now we've got to separate that link. So I've got no idea whether this is going to work, mine.
We haven't done a link for a while, have we? But you can see.
That's one.
Right, so that's all working fine. So I just checked everything. Yeah, so basically, just to explain as well, what we've done to get to this stage, see, if you're going to have a go at making a single link like this, of course you can cut the basic outline, all of this basic outline here, you can cut that on the scroll saw, and this little shape on the inside there, you can cut that on the scroll saw. And I have in the past, I notice you haven't done it so much here, but you can cut a little bit around here on the scroll saw. And then it's basically freeing that link away from the solid. That's what sort of takes the time, isn't it?
Yep. Right, so I've met the other little bit there. So now, of course...
So you're basically drilling pilot holes, aren't you, to release that link?
So if I put it that way now, it's easier to turn it around.
And apologies, because it is going in and out of focus a little bit. I'll go and
Are we back in?
We are in focus. Yeah.
Okay.
I just fixed the focus. It didn't go in and out of focus.
That's one. I turn it back around there. So we're drilling from 4 sort of sides. I'll just take a little bit out of there to make the drilling easier. A bit coming out there. And now... Aha! Do you see that? Just goes.
Yeah,
so we know there now. So now, of course, that's still quite tight. So now we have to choose the right kind of... I got a little tiny chisel like this one. Take a bit out of there.
And it's basically, when it comes to doing, it's the same. We get asked a lot, how do you do links, how do you do seeds? And the sort of simple answer with doing links and seeds, it's a bit too simplistic in some ways. Just check this, yeah, it's in focus. You've got to take away the waste wood that you don't want until you free them, isn't it, from the solid piece. So that's what this gradual process is. And there's no sort of, there's no set way we do it as such. We use different saws, we use different gouges and things like that. You can just see it on the screen there. If I show everyone, it's marked out down there. So you can actually take that bit as a chamber. You can take that away on the scroll saw, just where my finger is there. You can see it's actually marked out. And that is literally what you're doing, is using any method possible to take...
It's a nice little chisel. Look at this one. This is a very fine one, so I'm going to go in there.
Well, that's a Japanese-made one, that particular one. So
going in there. Oops, it's slipping down. Tighten it up a bit.
So that was actually somebody bought a job lot of woodworking equipment, and they actually came in here then looking to try and sell it. And so we realised it was a good little gouge, potentially useful. And so we bought it from them.
Oh, there's not much of a wobble there yet, Dave.
No, there's plenty of scope for cutting along. So I mean, if it's me, and if you're looking to do this, if you're more interested on the scroll saw as opposed to the wood carving, if it's me in the past, I've actually used the scroll saw to cut up there. I thought you were going to slip through then, so I thought I better move my hand a bit quick. Yeah, so...
I mean, what I'd like to use now is this one here. Very fine one, this is. But
it's a useful one, that gouge, because it's got quite a long... the blade is quite a long blade, isn't it?
Yeah.
That gives you a lot of... And because it's fine as well, it gives you a lot of leverage, and it gives you a lot of ability to sort of work your way in and around.
Yeah. This is also a good example. You can see the time that I'm taking, but it's interesting because they sell Lovespoons with links.
We see them for £40 and things like that.
£40 and less. And you're thinking, bearing in mind I've done a lot of work before even starting to wobble, look, see? But you can see how much time now I'm taking just to be careful.
Ease it away. Do you know, I saw somebody demonstrating on a lathe how to do a link. They were doing, I think they were doing almost like a little bit of a rattle that they were making.
Oh, it's a lot easier with a
I know that the carver has demonstrated doing it on a lathe as well. And it, as you say, it's a lot easier, isn't it? To take it away.
There she blows. There she blows. We can see how inside, now that the camera can actually see the roughness of that there inside there. So that's all got to be cleaned up now.
So you've got to spend that time now, and you can, you know, there's different.
So what I would do now, I would change the position of that now, Dave. So the camera's gonna.
Right.
I'm guessing that's losing the camera there now.
Yeah, you're right. I'll reposition that camera down so everybody can see what we're going to do from there. There we are.
You got it there?
We just got it on there.
Right. So now I got to get rid of the drill there, and now I find nice little fine chisel.
There we are.
In fact, you probably can't see what I'm going to do there now, Dave, with that camera, can you? Because I'm underneath.
Just about
the
moment. Yeah, you're disappearing behind it a little bit, but you can just basically what he's doing. See, he's just gradually gouging it away.
If I bring it nearer, then, Dave, so it'd be better for you. If you just adjust the camera.
Okay, so we can.
There we are. If you just bring it.
What I'll do is I'll come more side on.
There we are.
Hopefully that will stay. 2 seconds. Again, we'll just make a little adjustment on the camera. Still going just a little bit behind.
Okay.
2 seconds. We're just going to refocus it. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So just.
Here we go.
There we are. So you can still see it just gradually gouging away.
Yeah. But when you consider that they're selling these, a Lovespoon like this, you can pick it up for under £40. It's telling you that it was either made. I'm turning it over now. Look.
Spoons like that are either being made using very cheap labour,
exactly,
or using alternative methods.
I don't know if you can see a bit of roughness there. Look. So now we're gonna gouge that bit out.
So the quick answer, isn't it? How do you make a link? Or how do you even make a seed? Or how do you do any carving, any sort of woodworking? It is ultimately you take away the waste wood you don't want until eventually you free it from the solid. Yeah. Or you get what you're sort of trying to create.
Yeah.
The longer answer is, you know, there are sort of methods and techniques that we use to make that process slightly easier. There we are. Any questions as well? Any comments or anybody just want to say a quick hello? Put it in the comments.
I'll just hold it back up again so you can see where I've taken the.
So you've just started shaping it. Here's a word of advice as well. Do you remember a few years ago I made a Lovespoon, had a link on the top. It had 2 seeds, and I carved the whole thing out. And it was my nemesis, is my arch nemesis in the workshop, the oscillating sander. Because I used the oscillator to just try and take a little bit away on the inside just to shape it. And it caught and broke the link.
Yeah. Well, even holding it in the vise, quite honestly, you know, you're taking a bit of a chance.
Yeah, that's right. You can, because of the direction of the grain, the pressure can cause it to break. Any comments as well? Anybody wants to say a quick hello or anything like that? Just for us to change, for us to check all the comments are working. Let us know.
And if anybody can make a link quicker than this,
any other
without
approach, any other techniques?
You know, because obviously a lot of people, what they do, they break the links quite often. They glue them back together again. That's not the way.
Yeah, so they make them separately.
There we are. So.
As I said, I find it fascinating as well. I've seen the carver doing it. I've seen a few demonstrations of making like a rattle and doing the link on the lathe. But it's certainly, if you haven't done it using sort of wood carving tools, chisels and gouges, coping saw, even the scroll saw a bit, and the hand drill, stuff like that, yeah, give it a go.
And you often see some of the very old Lovespoons if you get a genuine, really old one, that will be made with this kind of process.
Yeah.
A genuine one.
That's right. That's right.
Because you know, years ago, the time it took, it didn't matter. You just did what you had in mind.
Taking away that.
So now I'm taking the sharpness off. You see.
When it comes as well to making links, the main wood that we've used for making links over the years, you've got the lime, mahogany.
Yeah.
We have done them in teak. We've made a few different spoons with links with teak. We have done them in oak, but you have to be slightly more careful with the grain with the oak, don't you?
Yeah. And the other thing, of course, sometimes I remember when I first did it, like, you know, you'd look on the floor to see how much wood you'd actually taken off because it took so long to do.
That's right, yeah.
And the other thing is, why a link?
Well,
you know, what does the link represent on a love spoon?
Yeah, a couple of things they suggest, isn't it? And that's the thing. Whenever it comes to love spoons, it's always open to interpretation. One I've heard is the shackling of the horse and cart. When it comes to marriage. The other is the more commonly used one is the hope for a number of children or recording children on a spoon.
Yeah.
There's the idea as well, because it's a link, because it's round and it's continuous, like the wedding ring, that band, the wedding band. So it's continuous, it's eternal. So again, but there's different interpretations for it. One thing, I remember reading in a book by Len Evans years ago, and he said that
you can see now
with things like links and seeds,
definitely shape in there now. You see that's got to be cut on the top as well,
and you start to see the shape come together.
You just keep chipping away at it.
But was it Len Evans?
Possibly.
The Law of the Love Spoon or something. I think he wrote.
Yeah.
And he said about how things like seeds, they already knew how to do those things because they used to do seed carvings. They would do on walking sticks.
Yeah.
So it was a skill that they already learned how to do. And I would imagine then it would be similar with a link. That's how, again, with the link, it was a method we used to do the longest hand-carved love spoon in the world. We used a link, so a little technique you can use is using a link to make a piece of wood longer.
Yeah.
So you can increase the length of a piece of wood using a link.
But it's it is a bit of a bygone age, isn't it? You know, this kind of.
Well, for ourselves, we do still do a few links and things like that.
Yeah.
But the difficulty for us doing links and seeds is because you can get them done cheaply.
Yeah.
I remember we had I know they will remain nameless, but we had a celebrity contact us, didn't we, for a Welsh celebrity.
Oh yeah, that was
for
interesting.
With links and seeds. We won't name them. And they would absolutely, they were saying, oh, I hope I won't upset you now, but I'll be going and looking elsewhere for another price for having it done, because the price we gave for it to be done
was the honest price.
Was the honest price of the hours involved in the request they made. But you know, that's the reality, is you're up against labour in sort of other places, and it's not always possible.
Well, it's often the celebrities that cause most of the problem. Like, I mean...
well, there is that side as well, isn't it? There's been a few that have got involved with the Love Spoon and have had them made in other places all around the world. You'll have to be careful there. You've just done a nice new lining on the vice.
Oh, sorry, Dave.
That's all right.
No, but there we are. That's just, that's the interesting bit, is the fact we now have a link.
Yeah.
All we got to do now is improve on it.
Refine it.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, when it comes to doing this, it's a great little one. If you're new to woodworking, or if you're looking for a different woodworking challenge, it's a great one to have a go at. But it's that moment when you free the one piece away from the other, it's fantastic, and you think, there we are, we got it done, we're finished.
Yeah.
But the reality is that is only one part of that process, and then afterwards comes quite a bit more work. Yeah. I just noticed as well, if somebody could do us a favour, if you could put a comment on, because I don't know if there are comments coming through and I'm not seeing them there, so if you are watching, you could just put a little comment on there to say hello or something like that. we'd appreciate that, because so far no comments have actually come through. So I'm not sure if it's just me who's not picking up the comments at the moment. So yeah, if you could help us out, that would be great. From there now, you're going to carry on with that one, yeah?
Yep.
I'm going to do a little bit of scroll sawing. So I think what I am going to try, let's see if we can do a little bit of a split view. Let's see. So we're going to go with HDMI 1 and HDMI 2. Ah, James, thank you for that, James. Brilliant. We know now that that is coming through. So let's have a little look.
See, you know, again for anybody, see the frustration. Look, how do I hold that? You know, so you've got to hold this now and find some method. So what I do is to
just go across the split view then. See how we get on with that.
Make a little. What I do, I'll push a little chisel or something in there to try and tighten it, but that's where you have to. So that's.
Well, if you are going to carry on with that one for a little bit.
That's tightening it a little bit. You see.
If you are going to carry on with that for a little bit, that would be fantastic. I've got it positioned now. I've got the camera positioned where you're working there now. Okie doke.
Okie dokie.
So yeah, that should be fine. I'm just going to refocus. There we are, and I'm going to go across myself to the scroll saw, and I'm going to introduce them what we're up to on the scroll saw. So what I've got is another candle holder with Christmas in mind. We've got a bit of a nativity scene. We're stack cutting again, so we've got 2 layers. We've got the star at the top, new little design that we've drawn out today. And as we're going along, always when we're demonstrating different projects, you know, you're encountering problems and issues and things as you go along. James was saying they're fascinated with the carving. Thank you for that, James. Yeah, I mean that's the great thing is, you know, you do with the link, you start to see it taking shape. And that particular piece, nice piece of mahogany to carve.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you want as well. You want, when you're doing that, especially if you're doing it for the first time. What I know we call in this country, we call it flowering lime. In the US, you call it basswood. So that's a wood that is a good one to go for. If not, teak, mahogany, they're good ones to have a first attempt at as well. So let's get doing some scroll sawing. Any other questions? Any thoughts? We always like to hear from you all. And Thompson Wood Carver, you've got the microphone on that one at the moment, so
okay.
Anything you want to share as I'm cutting out, go for it.
Okie dokie.
Good stuff.
Will the sound of the saw drown the microphone anyway?
It shouldn't be too bad because you're closer to it.
Oh,
because
right.
you're close to the mic, it should be more background noise. So
okay.
They should still be able to hear yourself. But any thoughts you go along, and I'll be stopping the saw different times too. So
there we are. So now what I'm doing, for anybody wondering what I'm doing now, I'm removing the saw marks. I may have gone out of focus now. I'm sorry if I have.
I can still see it at the moment.
Oh, good.
I think so anyway. Let's just double check on them. Yeah, we can still see you. I've got a block of wood stuck in the way. That's how I can stop. Right. Why have I stopped? I'll tell you why I've stopped. Because that scroll saw blade is not behaving as I want it to. And that's something that that's something I've learned. Do you do that at all? If you have a scroll saw blade and you're thinking, that's not doing what I want it to do.
Yeah, you sort of, why is this not performing as it is? So sometimes you look at the wood you're cutting and you're thinking, is it a little bit hard?
Which it is, yeah. Fair point. But I know that blade, what it is as I'm trying to cut, it's not going, it's sort of cutting in a slightly different direction to what it should be. So I put a new blade there ready. Just
yeah, that often does the job.
And I think that will solve the problem. What it is you're cutting away and you don't always remember how much cutting you've done with a particular blade. So instead of just making a complete and total mess of everything, just change the blade. That's a voice of previous frustrations coming through there. It was what it was burning a little bit there, and then as I tried to cut further down, it wasn't cutting, I was having to cut at a different angle. You know, you're losing, you can't judge it properly then, so cut your losses, change the blade. Well, there's a classic. I kept on thinking I had 2 lines, okay? I'm thinking, I kept on thinking I had 2 burn lines when I'm cutting. So if you have a look on the monitor, and you know what it is, isn't it?
What's the monitor? It's
the light. Can you see the 2 points of the star? It's because the angle the light is pointing at. So I'm trying to cut it out, thinking, why is those lines not why are they not disappearing? And it is basically the line that we're cutting at. It's where the light is shining.
It's an interesting one as well as I'm doing this.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's a bit like, this is how I used to work years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where time didn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas today,
but that's why we can't do as many of those.
We are so conscious today about the time the job takes.
The pressure we're under when it comes to time, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we're in here on the evenings, we're here on weekends.
Whereas
when
you just
pressure.
Relax and just, you know, you just relax, like I'm turning it round.
Yeah.
It's not going quite as where I want it to go. So
the time pressure we're under is unbelievable. It's crazy because, I mean, this is why. What am I doing? Cutting out 2 projects at a time. Why? Because we're under so much time pressure that I can't afford to cut 1 out at a time.
Yeah.
Interestingly as well, going back to the blade, what I said is exactly right. As soon as I change this blade now, the performance is completely different.
Good.
So it's a little tip. Anybody who might be a beginner or learning, if you're cutting...
They say, there's a bad workman that blames his tools, but if the blade isn't...
Well, a good workman sometimes knows when the blade needs changing.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming the tool. I'm saying, you know, the tool itself I'm happy with, but that blade, and it's something as a beginner, if you're only doing, say, scroll sawing for an hour, 2 hours every week, okay? You can be cutting away, and I'm just checking it is. Yeah, you can hear me. You can be cutting away the 1 week and everything's going fine, and you're thinking great, and then you come back the next week and you can't cut the same as before.
Yeah.
And it can be as simple as you need to put a new blade in.
Yeah.
And you just don't realise it. So, you know, little things can make
a
big difference.
Well, what day is it today?
Monday.
Monday.
After the kids' holidays as well.
Monday is one of the most difficult days. It's weird. I don't know whether other people find this, but you know, Monday, for instance, it just seems so hard that, you know, there's a song Monday, Monday. You know, it is strange because
all sorts of factors can be
so many things.
Have they done studies on which days, you know, people are most
They
productive?
probably have, yeah, but certainly Mondays can be quite interesting there.
How's it coming along?
Yeah, it's not bad, Dave. I'm happy with that now. I can.
You making progress on it?
Yeah, I.
The other thing as well, when it comes to different jobs like that, is deciding whether you're going to sand it all, how you're going to shape it, if you're going to leave it off the chisel, off the gouge.
Yeah.
And again, the nice thing with the Lovespoon, there's not a right or wrong, is there? There's no rules or regs. You can finish it how you feel is appropriate, how you feel is suitable. See, this is why as well, going back to your comments about Monday, this is why it's great doing the live stream on a Monday, because I always start the week off then having a project and a new design and new ideas and things to sort of tackle. I find it's a good way to deal with the week. And I also do a lot of the preparation on a Monday, you know, the spoons that we're going to make for the rest of the week. So, yeah. It works for me.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's about as far as I want to go with that, Dave. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna sand it down on the on the belt sander.
I'll change the camera over to me.
There we are. Oh, I thought it was on you.
What?
It's been on you, hasn't it, the camera?
It's been on both.
Oh, right.
I'll change it over to me, and then you can sand it down, and then you can show everyone.
What's that? Oh, sand it down, okay?
Yeah, that's it. that's all the internal cutting on our little nativity scene. Now we're going to cut the surround. I'll probably cut this one as well, the base for it. I'll cut that on the bandsaw, so I'm not going to demonstrate doing that as well. And then we've got one other little project that we will demonstrate, and then hopefully I'll get time to do a little bit of carving as well. But for now, we're just going to cut around there, preparing that ready to be carved afterwards. Piece of ash that we're working with, and a piece of mahogany. That's the two layers that we're carving. Well, we're cutting and carving today. So there we go. That gives us our two layers to our candle holder. That's all ready for carving. Thomas Woodcarver's just finished the sanding there as well. He's struggling past the camera here. Shall I just show everybody? There we are. So you start to see, look at that. It's fascinating though, isn't it? I mean, it's amazing how much progress you have made on there. Yeah. You know, and using that belt sander, it's amazing how much it does make a difference. Shall I put the dual camera on, the two cameras again? Okay. There we are. So we put the split screen back on.
I just took my mask off.
Change that microphone over as well.
Are we back on?
You're back on.
There we are. Okay, so the interesting bit now is what I'm going to try and do is to get that link down. At the moment it's about 45 degrees. It needs to be, I got to take a little bit out to the inside link, so it needs to be, I've got to get a really fine chisel. I think that one might do it. Yeah, I need to take a bit out of there.
Just gradually refining as you're going along.
Yeah.
Here we are. Right, so you may notice I've changed over as well. I'm working now on a candle. These are 3D candle type decorations, is what we refer to them as. They'll be four-sided. We've got 4 layers, so we'll actually be able to make 2 of these, but we'll demonstrate the process of how we make them.
have been a good bit.
So?
That would have been a good bit. I just dropped it on the floor.
Oh dear. So, that's the internal cutting. We'll check it on the other side. Two of the candles as well will get cut away to make this one. So, and then what we've sometimes done with that, so sometimes we cut out hearts or different shapes that we've done, robins, and then we sort of make another project to use the spare ones that we haven't used for making this particular project. So we're always looking to try and what's the word? Be as economical as possible. Would that be right? Yeah. Right, because we're making two, we only cut two, so those layers are stuck together, these have come apart. So, what I need from here, and I'm just checking around the scroll saw, I need the plate that sits on the machine, that one there, just to fill the gap, just like so. And then we're going to separate these two layers. Now another way you can do it is to do 4 like this and then stack cut another 4 for doing this part of the process. So hopefully it'll become clear what I'm referring to. But we need the side pieces is what we're working on now. creative then. 2 little decorations. And then that will be, we do a little bit of carving possibly on the candle. And we stick that together, something like so. And then we drill a hole in it, and we'll do a little bit of work on the belt sander. And then create in another one, stick it all together. Make sure we get the right bits for the right one. The right way around as well. Sticking it all together, sand it all off. A little bit of carving on the candle, and we create a few little 3D decorations. And then what we try and do then, we'll think of a little project maybe, where we use the candles. I don't know, we could possibly put four candles, put them on a base, and possibly have a little candle holder. What do you reckon with that? So you put 4 candles, two circular pieces, with the 4 candles holding up on a base, holding up a little piece with a candle, little tea light on top.
Give it a try, whatever you think.
There you go. Just uses up the spare bits that you don't need for the actual project. Right, yeah, so from here, let's check on the progress with Thomas the Woodcarver. So we go across to just that camera there. How's it progressing? Happy days?
Well, because I'm on camera,
Yeah.
I'm more nervous than I am normally, you see.
Yeah, so you're more conscious because you're demonstrating it.
Yeah.
Bound to be a bit more conscious, and you're bound to be, you go a bit slower than you normally do as well. I'm just looking as well. Where's the project that I cut out before? I was going to demonstrate with a bit of carving, but I've lost the project.
So I have to.
There it is.
I'm gonna have to put it in my lap, and so I go off camera.
Well, if you're going off camera, should I try jumping and see how this one's going to come up?
Yeah. There we are.
Yeah.
Because just to show everybody what I'm doing now, look, I'm holding it by hand rather than, which is what they would have done years ago. You know, sit there. You don't have to be on a vice or anything like that. You just sit there by hand and then carve.
It's Thomas the Whittler.
Exactly. Yeah.
A bit of whittling.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that. A great process in
Because you
itself.
can see the little bit that you don't want there.
There we are. Right.
Yeah, you can see, look, it is coming round. It's almost there. So I'm going to move then, Dave, and carry on.
And I'll jump in and just demonstrate a little bit of carving on this one here to finish off. We're going to keep things simple, but it just shows you this is, this is how our workshop works, where both of us are working on different projects, different items, and when we finish the day, we've usually got a few different things that we've made finished off and ready for sales and ready for anyone who's interested when they come and visit our workshop. All I'm going to do with this one to finish it off then, we're going to add a little bit of shape and depth to it, like so. It's something that my wife, she's been asking me for another nativity project in there, so this was something I just drew out, nice and simple. Just drew out for everybody to be able to see another simple little project that we can make. So just start off by shaping that star on the top of the above the stable. The wood as well, we're using a little piece of ash. Is it taking shape?
Yeah.
Right. So we carve the one way, we'll shape it the other way as well. And we'll start off as working on the stable. Just adding a little bit of depth, a little bit of detail to what we're doing. This one here, is that going to be about the right curve for us? Let's check it. Yeah, we can get away with that one. So we mark it out the stop cuts. Same again on the other side. Shaping it just like so. I'm not too worried about it being too precise because afterwards we can just take out a little bit, as you can see, like so. And again, when it comes to projects like this one, you're marking it out with a vertical grain. That's the same as well, the one that Dad's been demonstrating, the link. Mark it out with a vertical grain. Gives it extra strength. Makes it easier to make. Simple little bits like that. When you're new to woodworking, you may not realise, you know, with most of the things that we make, we mark them with a vertical grain. So it makes the process of making slightly easier. Especially when you're starting out, marking things out correctly can often be the difference between succeeding and not in whatever you're trying to make. So if you mark it out cross grain, you're making things a lot more difficult to do. Hello, Sammy. You've beaten the which one? The Grey Moab. There we are. Sammy's on Bloom's Monkey City. He's building up our Monkey City, aren't you, Sammy? And great fun it is too. And we've just managed.
Even you play, don't you?
Oh, I love playing a bit of Bloom's Monkey City. Great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, we know all about the Moabs and the. When are we done? Not far off now, Sammy. Can you see? What do you think it is? What do you think the design is that I'm carving? Can you see it?
You need to carve all of that.
Yeah, but we're not far off. You're waiting patiently, are you? Or impatiently, as it may be.
I'm waiting patiently.
You're waiting patiently, good boy.
I thought you were finished, so I went in the workshop
And now you realise I'm not finished.
Yeah.
Well, we're not far off. You'll be surprised at how quickly it'll come together now, Sammy. There we are. And you had your first day back in school today, didn't you? And did it all go okay?
Yeah.
Did you play football?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Did you play any rugby today? No rugby was there. Did you practice your kicking now?
Yeah, it was with Oscar's, but it's flat.
Oh dear, and he's pumping up, is it?
No, he got it yesterday after I did it.
And he hasn't pumped it up, has he?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
He still pumped it up yesterday.
He should have, shouldn't he? That's it. He should have pumped it up before he got to school. There we are. Can't do it all though. Perhaps he ain't got a pump.
Yeah.
We had to buy a new one, didn't we?
Yeah.
And now we need a new adapter for it. Right, so we're getting our levels. So that's the one thing. Stop cuts, then levels. Turn it all round.
You're actually kidding me.
What's
How
that?
much more left?
Oh, we're not far off now, Sammy. We're not far off. You've got to have patience, see? We'll have a look at those.
Do you know how I beat it?
How did you beat it?
Hydro rocket pods I needed.
Got the
And
hydro.
there was 3 dots, and that wizard, and a super monkey, and a spike factory.
Oh
And
my goodness,
one
it sounds like you had.
aircraft
it-
carrier.
Oh my goodness, it sounds like you had everything. How did you get an aircraft carrier? Oh my goodness.
I just opened.
Well, those
It
clever,
was
clever
5,000
monkeys.
and then 5,000. And then I got aircraft carrier.
Got an aircraft carrier as well. Well.
They are so expensive, aren't they, Dan?
They're very expensive. Yeah, you're right.
Even
There we are.
expensive than the hydro rocket pod.
3 times more expensive, I reckon.
Yeah, it's because hydro rocket pod is in the 6,000.
And I
And
think
like,
your aircraft carrier 14 or 15,000, wouldn't it?
it's in the.
Let's have a look. We got this one here. Now this goes
What
cut in
is
well, but possibly a little nick in it.
In
So-
the 10,000.
10,000.
Yes, it's in the
My goodness.
10,000.
But you beat a grey Moab, is it?
Really?
It was easy, was it? Oh my goodness. We've eaten lots of blue ones, haven't we? And a few red ones, and a few green ones.
Yeah, but I realised what would happen, and they just, do you know how? It goes fast at the thing, and it just turns into camo.
Oh my goodness.
Balloon.
Camo balloons.
So that's how easy it is.
Good stuff.
That was starting. I've already started a new one, but it's no spike factory.
Yeah?
Those are so good, my treading spikes. I'm getting the one after my treading spikes, but I need the thing that allows it.
Yeah? You hear Gramps? You hear him? He's on the belt sander. He's been working on a link this afternoon.
Okay, let's see how much you've done.
You've done quite a bit.
Okay.
There we are. Watch your head. You see the camera? That's where everyone can see. There you go. Look, what we're going to do now, we're going to do a little bit like that. There we are. A little bit like that. And then, I don't know, maybe a little bit like that. Like that. What can we do? We've got a dot for an eye, and a dot for an eye, and then we can put a little line. You can use one of those ones that Dad was using earlier. Another line there, like so. Boom. And boom. Like that.
So we've done that.
There we are. Just a little bit of detail like that. And then what we'll do as well, we'll just separate a little bit. We'll do a line there. Is it finished?
Well, we've got it to where we want. You see,
Yeah.
you know,
look at that.
it's not completely, you know what I mean?
Shape in.
It's got to be more. Still needs sanding down.
It's got a bit of hand sanding and there's a bit of finishing as well on the spoon as well. That sort of thing.
But if you just turn it over at that point,
it's coming together quite nicely though, isn't it?
yeah.
And it gives everybody a good idea
Hopefully.
of how we go about making a link. And this now, this
How
is.
hard do they take to cut that?
There we are. So you can
Grant's
see,
is demonstrating this, Sammy.
you can see it like that now.
There we go.
That's the important thing now. Sanding down, that'll be, you know, it'll hang up with a link like that. It's quite a reasonable spoon then, you see.
What do you think? This is our nativity.
So now I gotta put the chickens in, Sammy.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Sammy? What do you reckon, Gramps? What do you think of our nativity can? That's gonna be a candle holder. That's gonna
Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Yeah.
Are you gonna stand it up?
It'll be stood up like that. So it'll have a base under it like that. There we are. So we've demonstrated cutting it out.
Yep.
We've demonstrated making a link.
So
All
you're
in
gonna
all,
put the chicken.
that's a successful afternoon. Right, Grants is off to sort the chickens and we're off to see those monkeys in Monkey City, aren't we?
It's a game, it's just
There we are. Well, you know what we're going to say to everyone now?
bye.
We're going to say bye-bye, but what do we say to everyone? We say thanks for joining us and we
Thanks.
hope you all have a great week.
And North Star.
There we are. Yeah, it's North Star. And thank you all for joining us. And any questions, if you're watching it on the playback, or anything at all, let us know. And we do our best to help out. Thanks again for joining us. And we hope you all have a fantastic week.